attack, that's a whole separate issue to defend yourself. But to hitch our wagon and to say it's the new civil rights movement, to shoot at firefighters trying to put houses out, as CNN and others. I mean, here's the CNN headline. I'm going to cover this when we come back. Time Magazine, columnist, violent riots necessary. Let me show you the actual headline out of Time Magazine. There it is, Ferguson, in defense of rioting. Oh, you guys printed that for me, but there it is. I got it right here. Time Magazine, in defense of rioting. In defense of rioting? You mean of looting and shooting at firefighters and shooting police? I mean, what is that going to do but start a civil war in this country, which is exactly what the communists and other people want. And by the way, if you go look at the riots going on all over the country right now, it's all communist groups leading it with Democratic Party funding. The Democratic Party is out of its mind.
The average person's life is filled with unexpected challenges. Unlock the energy it takes to defeat these daily beasts with super male or super female vitality, specifically designed to assist the body in regulating proper hormone balance to create superior vitality in males and females. Supercharge and conquer your world at InfoWarsLife.com or call 1-888-253-3139.
The government's Department of Homeland Security is buying up loads of ammo. At the same time, they're restricting civilians' rights to own and purchase firearms. Can you put two and two together? Infidel Body Armor can stop every round, including hollow points and .308 sniper rounds, is reasonably priced and fully legal. But for how long? Go to InfidelBodyArmor.com, spelled INFIDEL bodyarmor.com. Infidel Body Armor. Just won't quit.
Aging starts at the cellular level. When cells become toxic, they die early and aging sets in. In the past decade, we have witnessed unparalleled scientific discoveries. During that period, key patented compounds have focused on mitochondrial growth, nerve growth, and rejuvenation. But no one has put together a formula that focuses directly on brain health, nerve growth factors, and optimizing your cellular energy at the same time. We now have the synergistic solution, DNA Force, just one of the key compounds. BioPQQ is backed by major clinical studies and over 175 PubMed-listed published studies. You want the best that's out there at the lowest price anywhere? The ultimate value, cutting-edge, trailblazing game changer that also supports the InfoWar. Secure your DNA Force today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139. DNA Force from InfoWars Life. On the eve of Thanksgiving this year, I was thinking, what am I really thankful for? And I got to tell you, it's my family, it's all the blessings of liberty that our forebears secured, and it's you, the listeners of the broadcast, who've made everything we do possible. This Black Friday, I decided to bring you the biggest special we've ever offered on any of the nutraceuticals at InfoWarsLife.com. I'm talking about Silver Bullet Colloidal Silver that we've been sold out of for months. This time I doubled down and got even more. As of me taping this on the eve of Thanksgiving, we have already sold half of it. So instead of keeping the price at its regular discounted price, we are going to give you 20% off and free shipping on single bottles. But if you get 4 bottles, we're going to give you the 5th one free and the free shipping. I don't know how long this special will run, but if supplies last, we will extend it out until Cyber Monday. You'll find powerful nutraceuticals like Silver Bullet and others at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139. Again, this is Alex Jones wishing you all a blessed and happy Thanksgiving and thanking you all for your support of freedom.
Another major health threat, this one in Toledo, Ohio, where everybody in the entire city has been told not to drink the water.
Ohio's governor declaring a state of emergency.
Did you know that the average person uses about 80 to 100 gallons of water at home every single day? If there's a water emergency, will you be prepared?
Panicked residents forming long lines throughout the day.
We're here at a supermarket in Toledo. You can see the shelves empty where water once was.
To stay safe and healthy during a crisis, you must have access to safe, clean water. Water which will not be available at your local grocery store.
There's a mad dash on right now to stock up on supplies.
The ProPure Pro 1 G2.0 water filtration system is a must-have for every modern, independently minded household. Protect your family's safety during an emergency. Go to InfoWarsStore.com today to purchase your ProPure Pro 1 G2.0 water filtration system or call 1-888-253-3139.
You're listening to The Alex Jones Show. Leading a frontal assault on the lies of the New World Order. It's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
Welcome back, my friends. The reason I have what a lot of folks call an uncanny grasp on events and predictions is really no secret at all. Those that don't know history are doomed to repeat it. And I have studied history. Out of thousands of revolutions that have been chronicled in 6,500 years of human recorded history, very few have ended up creating something better than what they had previously. And there's a lot of factors that go into that, but history bears it out. The American Revolution became the model of freedom worldwide, not because we were perfect, not because we didn't have some problems, but because markedly after the 7-year war that started in 1776 and the final ratification years later in 1798 of the Bill of Rights, it created the greatest level of freedom comparatively in the time they were living that anyone had ever seen in the world. And so America became the revolutionary idea. And in British newspapers and in Russian newspapers and Japanese newspapers, the elites openly bemoaned the American system, they called it, and the model by the 1830s, saying we can't compete with people getting to keep 90% of their money. We can't compete with low regulations. We can't compete without a class system. We need monopolies. We need to finance powerful combines in the U.S. to take it over. You see the rise of J.P. Morgan, the Rockefellers, all financed by the Dutch royal family, the British royal family, and by the Rothschilds. I mean, go look it up. That's mainline history. The robber barons, the Rothschilds, all of it. The Rothschilds in Europe, if they wanted your country, they would just finance some nearby dictator to invade you. And they didn't care if they lost because they would finance the other opposition. So that's how I come at things, is historical, how they really work. The government and the media doesn't want you looking into that because the government's run by a lot of special interest on average. Doesn't mean the government's the enemy. It just means it's the object of control and domination. So it's got the special interest in there controlling it. We need to remove those special interests as much as we can. There's no perfect world, no utopia. Only communists and fascists and Hitlerians push utopias. I'm not here promoting a utopia. I'm pushing a republic. I'm pushing rule of law. I'm pushing private property. I'm pushing let the best man win. Competition. What we see today is not capitalism. It's dying capitalism with crony capitalism using socialism to domesticate people in control. And all the major scientists and economic experts and economists agree on that. This is what's in the real policy textbooks. Because even if you're going to serve this system, you've got to know how it works. That's what's frustrating to hear other talk show hosts attack me and national news go after me. Like, oh, it's that crazy guy. When they all know full well that what I'm saying is baseline true and that they're listening to try to garner more information because they know what I'm saying is accurate. And they have their own intel as well. So all I'm saying to new listeners is ignore this information at your own peril. Now, with that said, let me move to the main topic. What is legitimate rebellion? What is legitimate revolution? And I think we should have this topic all throughout the week, not just on this Sunday show, because this is such a big issue. I want to do some special reports, some mini documentaries, you name it, to really break down examples of revolutions that have been successful. And I want to be clear, almost all violent revolutions fail or create something worse. That's a well-known historical fact. What almost always succeeds, but is then not called a revolution, is a velvet revolution, an intellectual revolution, an economic revolution, a revolution of ideas and style and culture, that it doesn't matter what the establishment sells or pushes. People adopt the new quality and the old system dies. So most revolutions of a better idea, as Victor Hugo wrote, no army can stop an idea whose time has come. That's the type of revolution I'm into, the one that succeeds, the one that's almost bloodless. Because the system will get violent in the end, it always does. At least some elements of it. But when you've already won the Velvet Revolution, the very police force, the very military that's been set up to crush the people is going to say, I want prosperity, I want freedom. You know what? We're not going to do that. And so the globalists spend all their time trying to dominate culture, dominate fads and trends, trying to sell tyranny as the coolest thing since sliced bread, trying to control the cultural icons of rock and roll and music and Hollywood to sell their idea as revolutionary, to defraud the people that are looking for a peaceful change into always buying into the next false paradigm. But if we just rediscover the historical baseline of what makes us successful, what satisfies us, what secures our future and our children's future, then we will see the fraud instantly and it will be overthrown peacefully. And so the system is scared to death of that. The NSA, with its aggregate systems on record, is scanning to understand the group mind, the collective unconscious, to be able to probe into that and understand it, to build archetypes, to capture the political will and misdirect it before we peacefully move to the next level. Because that threatens the monopoly of power of a few special interest groups, the central banks and the military-industrial complex that don't even know what's good for them, who sit perched on top of everything else militarily. Everything is done militarily by them, trying to shut down prosperity because it's seen as competition, instead of building a larger marketplace and a more diverse system. I mean, when you really read high-level globalist PhD papers on how the world works, this is what it all talks about. And they're having the debate about whether a monolithic monopoly is a good idea. Joseph Stiglitz has been on probably 6-7 times, Nobel Prize winner, twice. Agrees with my analysis about this, admits the central banks are criminal, are trying to shut down economies, want you bankrupt from birth to control you as debt slaves, and that that's not a tenable future. So really all I'm calling for is for us to come together and rediscover what works. Rediscover that prosperity is easy. The Federal Reserve over the last 2 decades is always saying, we've got to raise taxes to cool down the economy. We don't want growth over 3.5%. What? Our growth until the 60s was 10% from the start of the country till now. But they sold the idea that growth was bad. Why? Because they want to control it. So when we come back, we're going to look at this guy that reportedly shot up a bunch of stuff in Austin Friday morning versus people shooting up police cars and the rest of it in Ferguson and other areas of the country. That's being sold by CNN and Time Magazine is wonderful. Shooting up fire department, trying to kill firefighters is wonderful. But this guy's a terrorist for shooting up the police department. I say they're all the same. For months, the InfoWars Life Silver Bullet Colloidal Silver has been completely sold out. Now, we have finally procured a limited supply from one of the leading manufacturers of nutraceuticals in the nation. But here's what's truly exciting. While we could simply sell the Survival Silver for its already discounted shelf price, we have decided to give back to you, the listeners, who make it all possible with a pre-Black Friday mega sale. We are launching this mega special with an unprecedented 20% off and free shipping on all Silver Bullet across the board, while while supplies last, and to help everyone stock up before the next shortage. When you buy 4 bottles of Silver Bullet, you will receive the 5th one absolutely free. That's on top of the 20% off savings and free shipping. Finally, if supplies hold, we will extend this special out to Cyber Monday. Ladies and gentlemen, we've never done anything like this before. Find this mother of all specials and others I've not yet announced yet at InfoWarsStore.com or